What do you think, guys? Are you guys ready to dive in? Oh, wait, actually, no. Before we dive in, I think I should actually give you guys an opportunity to go around and say who you are, and maybe tell us a little bit more about your character. Now that we've gotten a glimpse into them from last week, you can maybe go into a little bit more detail about who they are and what it means to be awakened for them. Ava, would you like to kick things off, and you can popcorn over to somebody else?
Sure, as I just fiddle with my hair. Hello, my darlings and dears. It's Madam Ava here. Tonight I'll be playing Dig Deep. Dig Deep and Slumber, or just Dig Deep for short. She's not having a great time. Just not a great time. She thought that she was one thing, and now she's having visions of a witch. We'll see how that goes. And fair warning ahead of time, there will be fan clacks. Sorry that it was loud last week. I'm managing. We're going to popcorn over to Andrew because I scared him with the fan clack last week.
and Dig Deep is Draconis, yes?
Yes, I'm Draconis.
Yes.
I just wasn't expecting it, it was great. I am playing Robin, a human person like myself, in his probably, I'd say, mid to late 30s, pale eyes, worn, tired, much like myself. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I guess I'll just popcorn it over to Kay.
Okay, hi, I'm Kay, or Caden Cosmos. I'm playing pools, or, one who tends the pools, but if there are no pools, who is pools? Anyway, they're Gallapa, so they're a big turtle person. They're kind of yellowish, and I love them. It's slow to talk. It tends to plants and pools and all that jazz. I don't know. I'm excited to find out more about pools myself. I'm going to toss it to Deb, please.
Wonderful. I'm Deb. I am playing Reishi, and Reishi is a rusted clank mushroom farmer. Reishi has had some strange memories, and so looking forward to seeing how that affects them. They're pretty... in their mundane form before they were awakened, they were pretty sort of forgetful and not very chatty and just sort of blended in to the background like furniture. And so we'll see what happens with them now that they're awakened. And I will pass it off to the other half of Death.
That's me. I'm the F. Or maybe just the TH. It's hard to say. I'm Beth, and I am playing a Qatari named Wisp, short for Careless Whisper. She is a member of the Chorus of Rest in Dormer Hall. So her job was basically to I guess elicit good dreams in people, or make them docile, kind of, And this moment of awakening is very confusing. She has always been a very calm and measured person. It is her life's work, and it is also mandated by the place that they live. But the visions that she had received were things that made her feel enthusiasm. She felt a lot of physicality in it that is not something she's accustomed to. So we'll see how she continues to deal with all that. Popcorn over to Miko.
Well, thank you so much. These folks are definitely going through a few things, so why don't we perhaps recap a little bit about what transpired in our previous episode. This disparate group of individuals that you have met hail from a place of darkness, a place of gray, a place of stillness known as Dormer Hall. A city, a metropolis, a realm controlled by an entity, Sin Lord, known as the Hollow Saint. The Hollow Saint came to power some number of centuries ago, along with a number of other Sin Lords that have yet to meet. These Sin Lords exist now in this world that is not what it once was. This world that has been forever changed by some kind of cataclysmic event. An event that we, as viewers, know as the Withering, but event that these individuals cannot even possibly comprehend at the moment. They're having enough trouble comprehending the fact that they have been awakened. What that truly means for them to be awakened, we don't quite know just yet, but for now, what it means is that they have come to understand that this world that they live in is a lie. This world that they live in is not what it should be. The world that they live in, they may no longer be welcome. They certainly don't feel at home, because after what had seemed like a normal start to their day, did not change, did not end up that way, for during that day a significant situation occurred in which a manifestation happened, a nightmare come to life, and in the wake of that manifestation, they began remembering something. Each of them different. They remembered things that were not part of their lives. They remembered things that were part of someone else's lives. These memories that have been given to them that are not their own. But why? Why have they been given to them? And where did the memories even come from? Who do they belong to? All of these are questions, fortunately, with no answers. This awakening during this situation in Dormer Hall led to an event, an immense lightning strike that echoed through Dormer Hall violently as it killed another citizen of Dormer Hall. Someone else that you believe was also awakened, like the rest of you, but perhaps drew too much attention to themselves in that moment, unable to fully control how they responded to being awakened. They got the ire of the Hollow Saint. With black lightning were incinerated on the spot. This led to chaos in the streets as everyone ran in all directions, not the least of which was the five of you, as the five of you ran at breakneck pace, at such a pace none of you had ever comprehended you were even capable of. Because in Dormer Hall, in the realm of the Hollow Saint, to run, to exert yourselves, to do too much is sin. To exert in such ways oftentimes forces upon you a stilling, or at the very least, admonishment from your peers. Wisp and Dig Deep, perhaps the two of you are having the hardest time in thinking about that, for you have done the things that you so much espouse against, or have espoused against your entire lives. You have done this act that before your awakening would have meant that you yourselves should have been stilled. Here you are, outside of the city now, away from all of that, away from that life now, perhaps. Yet it is still a part of you. It's not something you can so easily shake. You found a moment of respite in an old structure, a cottage, perhaps someone's abode. But it's very, very old. Half ruined. No telling how long it's been since anyone had lived there. Certainly in the middle of these swamps, which are so very, very inhospitable. You couldn't expect anyone to survive such a place. But for the moment, it at least offered respite. Some of you being curious that you set about to maybe ensuring that it was safe, trying to just do something, maybe even distract yourselves from the events that had happened. Some floorboards, broken and rotted as they were, lifted up to reveal something from underneath. Just as you were about to perhaps investigate that, an immense strike of lightning rung out once again, rippling through the area, deafening all of you in a moment as your cottage was surrounded by not black, but brilliant white lightning. Light. Blinding you for a moment, you blink away. Spots, your ears still ringing, unable to even hear your own thoughts perhaps in this moment. Takes you each perhaps a varying amount of time to recover. I would like for all of you, please, to make strength reaction rolls to see how well you are able to recover from this situation. Now, as a reminder, with reaction rolls, normally they do not generate hope or fear. However, if you fail a reaction roll with fear in this realm, it'd be bad, as you gain points of corruption.
So we're just rolling our hope and fear die?
Yep. You roll your hope and fear die, you add your strength modifier. Now, you do have, technically, your experiences. And if you think that you can trick me or explain away why one of your experiences might mean that you are more resilient than perhaps someone else might be, you could always try to, and perhaps spend a hope to be able to add that additional +2 from an experience. That's up to you, because you have to spend resources and you have to rationalize such a choice.
Would this be physical damage by chance?
I mean, it's certainly physical related. You're not suffering any damage from it. It's more about your ability to kind of grit through that experience and see how fast you can recover from basically having your eardrums blown out and be blinded by brilliant white light.
Okay.
I see the gears working in Kay's head as they're trying to rationalize an experience.
Well, it's not even an experience. I can mark a stress to retract into my shell. It's a game mechanic for resistance to physical damage.
So I'll tell you what. Instead of a strength reaction roll, I would let you use an agility reaction roll instead.
Never mind.
Okay.
I'm good, thank you.
Shut that one down real quick, huh?
13 with hope.
Okay, so that is a failure, but it is with hope.
I got 21 with hope.
That is certainly a success.
I got a critical with a total of 20.
Wow, okay. So critical as a reaction roll cannot generate hope, but I will let you clear a stress if you want to, if you had any points of stress marked.
No.
What'd you get, Beth?
I got an 11 with hope.
Okay, so that is a failure, but it is with hope, so you don't gain a point of corruption.
I got an 8 with fear. So maybe
Dang.
I should have gone in my shell. I don't know.
And I'm assuming that 8 was not a critical success with, two numbers of the same. Yeah. So you will mark a point of corruption. How many does that bring you to now? Okay. So you mark a point of corruption because you failed with fear. For those of you that failed, you are unable to act in this moment, as you basically are still fighting back the blindness and can't hear anything. For the couple of you that succeeded, you do manage, after some number of seconds, not sure exactly how much because it is still very disorienting, you're able to kind of fight back against that, against the pain and physical discomfort of that event. So what would you do in response to that as you slowly recover, but more quickly than your companions recover from what happened?
I would look up to see where the lightning came from. We're inside a house.
Yeah. And so you're in a section of the house where the roof had not fully caved in, but you can easily go over to the window and look up into the sky. Deb, you also succeeded, correct?
Yeah, I think Reishi would look around and see if anyone was injured or needs any sort of help, and tries to assess if there is a continuing threat before going over to kind of see if they can rouse anyone from the sort of blinding light that they've all experienced.
Okay. Well, I mean, what it's worth, you do see your friend basically running over to the window and kind of checking things out, and so perhaps in this moment it does make a little bit more sense to check on one of your companions. Without even needing to do a roll, unless you wanted to do a roll. I would allow you to pick any one of your friends that failed and kind of shake them out of, assist them in recovering the situation.
I think Reishi knows Pools best, and so would go over to Pools first and just are you okay?
Oh, what was that?
I don't know. Robin, did you see anything?
So Robin is looking out the
anything?
window, and you can go ahead and make a perceive check to see if you can spot any potential dangers. So that's an ability check, so this one will generate hope or fear. And perceive is a instinct roll. And if you have a experience that you think could apply, you could of course spend a hope to use that experience.
I don't have an experience that applies. I'm also rolling at disadvantage because it's one of my corruptions.
Corrupted, yep.
So I got an 8 with fear.
Excellent. So that is a failure, and I will add another point of fear to my total. So just so you guys know, I start with the number of fear equal to the number of players. So I had 5, and I now have 6. As you look out the window, Robin, you can see no source of anything that would cause the lightning. The skies are as gray and clouded as they ever have been, but there is no rain or anything like that to really associate, and doesn't feel like it should have happened. And certainly you've never experienced a lightning strike that violently close before, so I think that in this moment, Robin is extremely confused by it. But there is also a moment in which Robin glances out at the area surrounding you, which is swamplands, mind you, and heavy and thick with trees, and the fog that is there. And Robin, you feel the grip of fear in your heart. The fog seems to be moving, menacing you in such a way that you cannot rationally explain.
There's nothing in the sky, but I think it's happening again. Do you remember what happened in the crowd with the big black lightning and everything? I think it's happening again.
What are we supposed
Go
to do?
Go look at the window.
Reishi will run over the window.
Run over to the window, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
To the window, yeah.
Because if you want to run over the window, that's an entirely different kind of check. Would you like to make a perceive check as well?
Yes.
Okay. I will also remind everybody that you do have some dream motes available to you. Thank you, Varl, for a donation. Everyone is up to 3 at this point. So keep that in.
17 with fear.
Okay. I will take that fear again. So this is a success. However, you do not see anything that would make you think that another lightning strike is about to happen. However, you do see movement in the fog. You can't pick out the details of it. There is multiple things moving around in the forest, or the swampy land, the trees and such around you. I also should point out, both you and Robin, because of the fear on that, you both take a point of stress as well. I forgot that with Robin, but it's Reishi rolled out. And also remember that if you want to, you can use your remotes as well. You can spend 1 to counteract a disadvantage, or you can spend 2 to gain a hope, which allows you to use that hope to do kinds of things. As you look around and see that movement, you can't pick out the details of it, but there's definitely something up there.
There's something in the fog. Stay quiet. Stay down. And I'll move slowly back over and check on the others and see if they are being able to reorient themselves.
They're both starting to slowly perhaps come out of it. Whoever you go over to, you're able to kind of shake through enough. It's also important to note that something about your touch kind of brings them back from whatever confusion that they had. And this situation, I feel like, even if it's a fleeting memory, might trigger a memory for Reishi. Some event that occurred in that awakened mind, in which whoever that awakened person was, they were doing something to protect someone, heal someone, treat. Do you have an inkling of what that memory might be?
Yeah, it's another sort of deserted building, kind of like this, and I look down and my hands aren't my hands, but I see myself kind of bandaging up a fungrel. They have big wounds on their legs, and just kind of bandaging, and then there's a little bit of a glimmer, and it's almost like there's a magic coming from that touch that's going into this fungrel that's being healed. And I think Reishi recognizes that this isn't their memory, and so tries to sort of escape it and come back to the present as quickly as possible, because they're so confused by what has been happening to them that they know that the immediate present is more important than trying to suss out what the memory is from. And so I think it's just a very quick flash, and then they come back to themselves.
Yeah, I mean, for everyone else, there was no perception of any time passage for you, even if Reishi felt it was, seconds upon seconds upon seconds, it was that fast in this world. But as Ava and Beth, as your two characters kind of come about from this, and you're in, one of you at the very least has a calming hand upon them from Reishi. How do you respond to coming out of that disorientation?
I think that Dig Deep is still in denial as to what's happening, so I think she's just laying back down. It's like, no, I'm not. None of this is real. It can't. I've been dutiful my entire life. I cannot be punished. This is not happening. No. Nope. No. Absolutely not. And she's just lying back down, keeping out of sight, being quiet.
Wisp immediately sort of pops up off the ground, back feet on the ground, and one hand still touching it. And for a moment, you see her fur sort of fluffs out and her ears are back a little bit. And that goes away. And she just, once again, this feeling in her body that is so foreign to her, this heightened awareness and just anger that she's not particularly accustomed to. But she'll pop up and her eyes will dart around. What's happening?
I'm not sure. I saw figures out in the fog. We just need to stay quiet.
As you are staying quiet, Ava, kind of curled up into this perhaps fetal position upon the ground, Dig Deep, having this moment of disassociation way, not really able to want to face what is happening. Her head is very close where the floorboards had broken away, where you all had been investigating before the lightning strike occurred. She sees something familiar. Sees something that only a witch would recognize. That thing that she sees hidden away underneath of these old and decrepit floorboards.
For a moment, it's a flash of something very, very pale. Very bleached white, as it were. And there is... It's mainly funny because it's like one of the items you get as a witch. There's a skull there. It doesn't have to be talking, but it's just a skull that looks a bit more animated. But then right next to it, there is a staff that has these intricate details of weaving vines made of almost looks like petrified wood. But within the cracks of it, there seems to be like a shimmer of some kind, oil slick in nature. And in between the vines itself, there seems to be depictions of serpents, owls, falcons, and maybe something horned, a deer of some kind. And then there are these two ringlets that seem to just fit like bracelets around someone's hand. They're also that iridescent oil slick sheen. And instead of the animal circling around it in design, it's those vines with intricate flowers that she has never seen, but yet they feel so close. Like, maybe she dreamed of it before, but can't quite place as to when.
Would Dig Deep reach for it, even if it wasn't fully Dig Deep in control of that?
I think so. I think before all this happened, she likes to sometimes walk around with a staff. Just kind of helps with like a monotone, or like metronome type of sound as she walks. So she'll reach for it for like as a type of comfort. Just cling it close to her. And the skull too. Why not?
As Dig Deep pulls this up out from the essentially hole in the floor, there is something that feels comfortable about it. There is something that feels familiar about it, even if it isn't truly an item that her awakened self possessed. It is something that awakened part of her recognized. And in this moment, anyway, maybe gives her a little bit of, dare I say, strength? Inner strength, perhaps? And in that moment of silence that only she is really dealing with, Andrew, having basically pulled away from the window and hiding down, that fear kind of gripping Robin so desperately. Robin hears the movement and hears the scraping of on the ground, or the floorboards from Dig Deep and retrieving this object. Robin sees something in that space as well. What is it that Robin sees?
Robin sees what looks like to be like a little flash of light for a split second. And when he kind of looks deeper, he sees a wooden handle to something. And he reaches for it, and it's attached to a really long sheet of metal. It looks like a blade. It's wide as a man's hand, but the metal looks almost dark and smoky. Almost like water that's turned to ice. It's deep and rippling and doesn't look like anything he's ever seen before. It's huge, and he doesn't know if he has the strength to even hold it. But he grips the handle and pulls it out and looks at it and thinks to himself, what the fuck am I going to do with this?
Do you think holding it does anything to Robin's state of mind in trying to beat back fear that gripped them, or that has gripped them?
I think he wants that. He wants that feeling he knows that feeling, but he's not sure if he is allowed to feel that way.
That moment of confusion. Beth, please tell us what Wisp finds. Looking down at the floorboard that everyone else is also intently peering through.
From the angle that Wisp is looking into this tear in the floorboards, she's able to see. It doesn't glint. It's not shiny, but she sees the hilt of a sword. And as she sort of follows it down, she sees the blade, and it's all patinaed, and it looks really rough. And she's not really familiar with weaponry. There's not much of it to be found in Dormer Hall, but it still feels very familiar to her. And her mind sort of flashes to that scene in the tavern with all of those soldiers, just weaponry everywhere. And she can she go to touch it? When she goes to touch it, she holds it in her hand and it feels foreign, but she'll sort of pull it out from under the floorboards, and as she lifts it up, she gives it a little flourish, like a little spin, and it feels very right suddenly, which concerns her. And she holds this sword that is rather massive, and it feels heavy, and yet it doesn't feel like something she can't handle. And she just sort of looks it over, looks at the craftsmanship, even though it's definitely seen better and shinier days. But something about having this makes her feel more grounded, and less like she's just floating away in this strange madness that they all find themselves in.
As you are doing this flourish, very noticeable to the rest of you that Wisp is so practiced with this blade, unexpectedly so. Dev, what is Reishi find?
There's a bundle that looks like a sort of moth-eaten blanket in a way. And they pull it out, and it is some Gambeson armor, so just a cloth, and it has indeed been a little moth-eaten over the years because it's been here for a very long time. The style is old, and the cloth is holding together surprisingly well, but still has seen better days. Wrapped inside is an axe, and when they pick it up, the handle feels almost spongy in a way, as if it could start to crumble any minute, but it feels again like there's something other than just its basic elements holding it together. And Reishi sort of knows instinctually that they can use it and it won't fall apart, even though it seems like Reishi themselves, like it could stop and fall apart at any second. And then there's just a small shield underneath the axe as well. And holding this bundle of items, Reishi feels a strange connection and almost a like an instinctual knowledge of how to use them and what to do with them, even though they've never held these types of weaponry in their hands before. And they feel this sort of surge of power as they hold these things, and the weight of bearing them as well. It's not just the power behind them, but that these are tools to be used responsibly. And so they have this very strong internal reaction to picking up this bundle.
I feel like that reaction, though, is a little bit more subdued, perhaps, than the others. So while Reishi is kind of retreating for a moment into that, what does Pools find?
So Pools took a little while to recover from the white lightning. They are, seeing everyone else go into these floorboards, and they're like, might as well go in as well. They can't see too well for a little bit. They really start focusing on one part of the broken floorboards that leads directly into just like some of the muddy swamp. But they see something, and it is long, it is gnarled. They don't quite recognize it. They've only seen this once before in their vision. This brown, almost veiny thing. They reach deep into the mud and they pull out a long, gnarled branch. It kind of looks like a branch, but from one of their memories, basically, a big gnarled tree branch. It's quarter staff sized.
And so as that comes out, and you all look around at each other and see all of you wielding weapons, something foreign to most people that live in Dormer Hall. There's this collective expression between you of surprise, I think, but also an understanding now that some aspect of these memories that you have been given involves the use of these things in some form or another. You pull other things out from underneath these floorboards as well, whether it be clothing or armor, or even just bundled up supplies with maybe some vials of liquid within that can heal one's spirit or even one's body. All of these things come out, and you recognize them from not your life in Dormer Hall, but from these awakened memories, from this different era of time. Whether it be in silence, whether you can say anything, as you know instinctually to start putting on these clothes, armor, such. Whether you do that silently or not, of course, is up to you, but there is something comforting about doing that, about protecting yourselves, about finding this connection to these memories, to this past that you never had. But perhaps it is Reishi, perhaps it is Robin. One of the two of you at least cannot help but look out over your shoulder. Looking out that window, looking into that fog, seeing the movements that are happening there, and know that something dangerous must be there. Something dark is approaching. before you can, well, I'm gonna pass the spotlight back to the lot of you before I do this thing. What is it like for the rest of you? Or for all of you in this circumstance?
I think so. Pools tended to the pools that kind of had a really sedating effect. I think this is the clearest they've thought in years. I think that this it's a really bizarre feeling to have, like this almost intruding memory, a feeling of urgency going on, but with the threat that they have heard other people talking about is coming, looking out the windows or cracks in the cottage themselves, they're ready to do this, and the time to process is going to be after.
It's a sort of similar feeling for Reishi, and I think they position themselves again by the door that we all came in as sort of first line of defense against whatever is coming toward them.
Wisp feels a bit out of sorts, but that really starts to fade away at the mention of danger, and she feels this unfamiliar confidence with this given situation that she can't imagine comes from her. But without overthinking it, she leans heavily into it and grips the sword a little tighter and looks around at her friends here that, again, it should look incredibly strange to see all of them holding these items that, might have been unfamiliar. And she feels like they can handle things, whatever it might be. She doesn't know why she thinks that. It seems a little crazy to think that, but sort of deep in her gut, that's what she's feeling.
I think Dig Deep has a similar thought, but also not. I think of the group that she is the one that is in the extreme most denial, and it's coming through now. Even with the comfort of these items, there is in the back of her mind that worry that all of this, the lightning's hunting them down, the Hollow Saint is hunting them down because we are wrong. And there's always been that, maybe it's a little cocky of her, but the circumstances of her existence made her believe maybe she's a bit special. So how could she be wrong to the Hollow Saint? So I think she's preparing to fight back with the very slim hope that maybe she can talk to the Hollow Saint, like, hey, I'm not actually bad. Everything's good, right? I can come back home. Everything's gonna be fine. Yeah. And she's just having this thought as she's putting the bracelets on, and they just start melding into her scales, and they're starting to almost like runes, but within the scales itself, it just looks like molding lava of sheen through the cracks, forming in particular patterns she doesn't really understand. And she's just looking at them, focusing on them, and just thinking, I can still convince this. Everything will be fine. Everything's gonna be so fine. God, please let everything be fine.
I think Robin is white knuckling this giant sword that's almost taller than he is, super scared, super nervous. But for some reason, maybe it's memory, or maybe it's there's some flicker of excitement in his chest, and he kind of cracks a wry smile in anticipation. So he doesn't know if it's nerves or if it's excitement. It's electric, but he's not sure if it's right.
As he is contemplating this uncertainty, can't help but stare out the window. He can't help but think about what is right, what is wrong, what's a lie, what is truth. And then he sees the movement solidify for the first time from beyond the fog. He sees someone appear. Darkened shape because of the general darkness of the area. Not really able to make out very much in the way of details, but person. Wearing very likely tattered clothing. Hair an absolute wreck. Perhaps a little bit reminiscent to how Robin looked himself after trudging through the swamp at breakneck speeds, running away from Dormer Hall. But it's the eyes that stand out to him. These glowing orbs, sickly yellow color. The figure steps forward, slowly, incrementally, walking towards this hut that you occupy. Before Robin can really bring voice to his breath, sees another figure emerge. And then another. And another. Several of these figures, some 11 in total, emerge from the swamplands, lurching their way towards you. Whichever one of you realizes this, maybe it's all of you, maybe it's only a couple, but somewhere, someone recognizes the purest manifestation of the corruption of this world. People that have been fully given over to the corruption that the Sin Lords wreak upon the world. A path that all of you are technically on, some degree or another. As these figures move towards you, you can tell that there is no thought, there is no drive behind their movement. They just are. And for all intents and purposes in this situation, despite a lack of wanting, they somehow know of your presence. And they mean to end it. So, my friends, I pass the spotlight to the five of you. How will you respond to this imminent threat of these corrupted beings moving towards you with violence in their demeanor. Who will take the spotlight first? And what will you do? Just so you know, they are roughly 40 or so feet away from you. They are within far range, but not within close range yet. And technically, you have the safety of the building that you are within as these things move upon your structure. You don't know how long that safety will last once they reach it. This is not exactly a fortified position.
I think, surprising herself, Wisp will sort of take a small step forward and hold her sword up and say to her companions, I don't know how I know this, but I know we have a shot here. We're capable of doing something. Just do it, I guess. Not used to motivating people in this sort of situation. I don't think she's ever told anyone to do something before.
Certainly antithetical to Wisp's existence thus far.
Meanwhile, Dig Deep is used to tactically telling people what to do. So she will take that, she'll give a nod, she'll make her way over to the window. And I actually have a spell that has a far range. So called Blithing Strike. I need to make a spellcast roll.
Okay.
And on a success, a D6 plus 1, or but if it's with fear, it's a D10 plus 1. So let's see how that goes.
Okay, so just so you know, the difficulty rating on these creatures is an 11.
Cool. That's 14 with hope.
Okay.
Actually, no, hold on. Well, yeah, it's still passed, but technically it's 17.
Okay. That is a success. That is with hope, so you gain a hope.
Cool. And then using the proficiency, and then the next time, if the target deals damage to an ally, it is reduced by half that damage to the ally.
Okay.
And that is 6 magic damage.
Righty. So, just so you guys are aware, this is what is referred to as a horde creature. So horde creatures work a little bit differently than normal creatures in Daggerheart, in that the amount of damage you do is not directly inflicted upon necessarily one of them per se, as however much damage you do gets flavored through our roleplay to potentially injure more than one of them. In this particular case, however, your blasts of magic, as it flies out from hand, staff, what does it look like as it comes out of Dig Deep?
It's kind of, she's taking like a shaman stance of she's using the staff to ground her, and through these runes that are doing a pulsating like glow, she reaches a clawed hand slightly out, and she doesn't know where it's coming from, but there's just a muttering in the back of her head, and she's mimicking the muttering. And then almost, it's kind of gaseous in nature, green, sickly, but then also almost like the forest itself, like poisoned forest swamp gases, as it just leaks from her clawed nails, digs into the ground itself, and just like whips out underneath the feet of these horde creatures.
As it whips through these horde creatures and rises up around them, you can see that several of them react almost like a convulsion within. None of them fall from that damage.
I did what I need to do. Someone else go.
That was a success with hope. So spotlight is still on you. I'm not going to spend any fear just yet. Who would like to go next?
I think Reishi would respond to the call to action from Wisp and look at Wisp and say, stay in here, protect them, and then go out the door and face the horde with trying to do a little axe slash, kind of running straight at them.
Okay, go for it. They are technically at far range, so you do need to make an agility ability check first in order to also be able to attack them. Unless you have a special ability that says you can close that without having to do so. Can't hear you, Beth, or Deb.
Sorry, that was a 17 with hope for agility.
Okay, yes, that is absolutely a success.
Great. And then a 23 with hope for my attack.
Okay.
All right.
That's 2 more hope for you.
My d8s here. 12 magical damage.
Okay. You will absolutely cut one of these things down, reducing their number to 10. What does it look like as you just chop this thing apart?
I think Reishi is propelled by something that they don't understand and don't even know what's happening, and they sort of charge toward this group, and they lift this axe. They're familiar with cutting implements because they've used them to, harvest mushrooms and things like that, but this is much bigger of a tool than they've used before. But I think they fall into that similar sort of harvest sort of side swipe and just cleave the one in front in half with one blow.
You absolutely cleave them in half. Before any of the rest of you can be particularly inspired by this, I am going to spend 2 fear now and steal the spotlight from you. More than willing to accept that cost, and they are going to get to take an action. I'm actually going to spend an additional fear on this, so I'm now down to 4, but I am going to spend an additional fear and cause an echo of stillness. So these entities give off an aura of corruption, very obviously. Just so you guys are aware mechanically, these entities are at 18 points of corruption. And so they exude this level of corruption powerfully. And so in addition to an attack that is going to happen on Reishi in a moment, I need for everyone to please make an instinct reaction roll. The difficulty on that reaction roll is an 11. You do not generate hope from this, but if you do fail with fear, you will gain corruption. So keep that in mind. And everyone has to do it. It's everyone within far range.
I got double 7s.
That is a success. That is a critical success. You will succeed in doing so.
I got 15 with fear.
Okay, that is a success, so you don't have to worry about the fear.
Got an 11 with fear.
That is exactly a success, because
okay.
the creature's difficulty is an 11.
Okay, perfect. I was worried.
I got 20 with hope.
Great. And Deb?
7 with fear.
Excellent. All right, so Deb is the only, or Reishi is the only one that failed. Reishi failed with fear, so they also gain a point of corruption. Everyone that succeeded marks 1 stress, and Reishi, because you failed, you mark 2 stress. And then there is an attack against Reishi. That is a 17 against your defense. I'm assuming that hits.
Yes, it does.
So 3 of these creatures basically pile onto Reishi. Now, because of Ava's ability earlier, Ava, that your ability means that they do half damage on their next attack, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. So this will be at half. Even with half, that is still a 9.
Good grief.
So what's your wound thresholds?
7 and 13.
Okay, so this will be 2 points of damage to you unless you want to spend an armor to reduce it.
Yes, I'm gonna do that.
Okay. You will still mark 1 hit point from the damage. And yep, that is it for me. I pass the spotlight back to all of you. So as you all saw Reishi just charge out there and cut one of these things down, this aura of rippling corruption just tears through the space, and you see several of them ganging up on Reishi in this moment. Who would like to go?
I think hearing Reishi say to stay back and then watching them head right into the shit and is now being surrounded, I think that is what would send Wisp right out there. So I'll run out. Is this a far distance still?
Yeah, they are still at far distance.
Okay.
Well, actually, no, I'll say that it's because there's the 3 that kind of moved in on Reishi, and basically all of the rest are like moving on the building, that there's still plenty of them to engage with at close range. This is technically a horde, so it really mechanically doesn't matter if you're going after the ones that are currently ganging up on Reishi, but if you want to be like within a specific distance of Reishi, you might have to run far range to get there.
I do have the ability Deft Maneuvers, which is the one that allows you to mark a stress to sprint anywhere within far range,
right?
Without making that agility roll. Instead of going directly to Reishi, though, I think I'll run into just whoever I can find closest. Sure. It feels a little foreign and also very right. And I will make an attack with my longsword.
Go for it. So following Reishi out the door, wave of battling through that wave of corruption, how do you do?
So that is 15 with hope.
Wow, you guys are rolling on fire.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So mark that hope. That is absolutely a success. How much damage? Do you do?
I do. 16 points. It's physical damage.
You will cut down 2 of these creatures. What does that look like as you cut them down?
It looks entirely natural, like it's something that Wisp has done 100 times. She sort of, you can see that the way that she moves her body is different now. Her shoulders are tensed but straight. Everything in her movement suggests power. when normally you would see her as just soft. And she just sort of lets out a big swing, which will tear down 2. She does raise her sword again, and I would like to spend that hope that I just received to use another ability of mine called Whirlwind. So after a successful attack against a target within very close range, I can spend that hope to use the attack against all other targets within very close range.
Okay, so because it's a horde,
Yeah.
it's not that it hits everybody. You're just cutting into
Right.
them once again. So
Okay. Let's
we'll
see.
go ahead and mark off that hope and do another roll.
Yes. It says all additional adversaries you succeed against with this ability take half damage. So do I still roll as usual, like another attack roll with it?
Yeah, you still have to roll an attack
Okay.
roll.
Got it. Okay. Oops. It's not as good. That is a 7 with hope.
Okay, so that you will get your point of hope back, but that is a failure.
Can I use one of my prayer dice?
I don't
And
know.
give it to
Can
her.
you? What do your prayer dice do?
You can spend any number of prayer dice to aid yourself or an ally within far range. You can use a spent die's value to reduce incoming damage, add to a roll's result after the roll is made, or gain hope equal to the result.
Yeah.
So I rolled a 4 on one of my prayer dice, so add a 4 to your... So that's 11, right?
Yes.
11 is their difficulty, so you will succeed.
Beautiful. So roll damage. So 14, but it has to be halved, so
Right.
that's just 7 physical damage.
And that is, I'm going to say, because you're like doing this against several things, that is technically enough to cut down one of them.
Sure.
So it reduces their number by 1 more.
Okay.
Yeah. And you still have the spotlight as a group, because that was a success with hope.
I think after seeing Reishi and Carrie run out, that excitement in Robin is building a lot more, even though it's uncomfortable. That smile, is getting a little bit more lopsided. He starts to feel a little unstoppable. So I'm going to become unstoppable.
Awesome.
And I think he's just gonna dash out too and try to swing at this horde with this giant sheet of metal that he's holding.
Go for it.
That is 15 with hope.
Get a point of hope. Just as a reminder, you can spend 3 hope to do a tag team as well in your cheat sheet of what you can do there. So keep that in mind too. How much damage do you do, Andrew?
I'm going to do 16 points of damage.
Amazing. You cut down a couple more. What does this look like as Robin goes unstoppable and devastates another 2 of these corrupted individuals?
He's running, dashing out, dragging this giant piece of metal behind him, and he kind of just upswings with all of his strength towards 2 of them, and then I will also spend a hope and do a whirlwind as well, kind of mimicking Carrie and kind of finishing the spin and doing a backhand slash as well.
Go for it.
That is 22 with hope.
Okay.
And that is another 16, but half. So
Yeah. So with half, you do cut down 1. So there are still 5 of them left.
I think it's my turn.
It is.
Pools is slow to act, usually slow to think, but they're feeling pretty good now. I am going to try and use, well, how about this? Pools does not think that they can get very close very quickly. So the closest thing that they can think of is that they put one of their giant hands deep into the swamp through the floorboards. I'm going to use Vicious Entangle and try to speak to the corrupted plants to grab a hold of one of the creatures coming toward us, to at least keep them away from Reishi specifically. This means I can't see through the window, so I'm just going through senses. So I'm going to roll a spellcast roll.
Yep.
Okay. 4, 7 plus 2 is 13, and that's with hope.
Okay.
I did it. Okay.
That is a success with hope.
That succeeds. Right. So this is 1d8 plus 1. 7 plus 1 is 8. It's a Christmas miracle.
So that's 8 points of damage. Yeah.
Yes.
And do they have to do any kind of check or anything from the entanglement?
On a success, roots and vines reach out from the ground, dealing 1d8 plus 1 physical damage and temporarily restraining the target. Ooh, on a success, can I spend a hope to temporarily restrain another adversary? Oh, within very close range of my target?
If you spend that hope, sure.
I shall.
Okay.
Yay.
So as you, spend that hope, and 2 of the ones that had previously gone after Reishi get wrapped up in these vines, you can see that it is definitely injured, and like one of them, their eyes just kind of go dark. Right, so they lose all of their light and they stop moving. So you guys are rolling too good. I'm gonna have to spend 2 more fear to be able to take an action, and so there are only a handful of them remaining. And one of them is restrained. So I'm going to, because of their horde ability. I'm going to use their passive, and they will get to do an attack upon 3 of you. Now, conveniently, there are 3 of you that are out of the hut, and you are within close range of 3. So the 3 of you that are not currently within the structure, I'm going to do an attack against each of you. So that is a 12 against Robin. A 12 also against Reishi, and then a 19 against Wisp. Does any of those miss?
So I'm unstoppable, and my minor threshold is 14.
Well, this is against your evasion. This is to hit you first.
Oh. It hits me.
Yeah, same.
Okay. And so each of you is going to take finish rolling 14 points of physical damage. Andrew, you had just said that what did you say your threshold was?
My minor threshold is 14, but because I'm unstoppable, does it go down to none, or?
Well, so if it's less than your 14, it is minor damage and would only be 1 hit point. 14 or higher, until it reaches your major threshold, means 2 points of damage for you.
Okay.
So if you want to reduce that down to 1, then you can do that, but you have to spend a point of armor to do so.
No, what I'm saying is that while I'm unstoppable, I reduce the severity of physical damage by 1 threshold. So
Okay,
would it
so
be 1?
Yeah, it'll be 1 unless you spend a point of armor, which would reduce it to 0 hit point damage.
Gotcha.
You said that damage was 14?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so if I use my armor, which is a rating of 5, my minor damage threshold is 9. Does that mean I go below that, or do I just meet it, which means I'm still above?
Sorry, say that again?
Yeah, so my armor is 5, so that would take it down to 9 points of damage, right?
No. So you spend armor like points. And so you have 5 points of armor,
yes.
which if you want to spend a point of armor, that will reduce the hit point damage you take by 1. So what's your threshold right now?
I 9 and 17.
Okay, so this will be 2 hit points of damage coming at you because it's higher than 9, but below the 17. So you can spend one of your 5 points of armor to reduce that down to 1 hit point of damage if you want, but you have to mark off a point of armor to do that.
Yeah, I'll do that. Thank you for walking me through it.
Yeah, totally. And Deb, how about you? Did you just take the damage, or are you spending armor?
I took the damage.
Okay. So each of you now also needs to make a strength reaction roll, as their hands are like shackles, and attempt to hold you in place.
Do I have to roll if I can't be restrained because I'm unstoppable?
You do not have to roll because you are unstoppable.
Awesome.
Double 6s.
That is a critical success. You do not get hope from that because it is a reaction roll, but you can go ahead and clear a point of stress. And Beth, what'd you get?
16 with fear.
Okay, that is a success, so that's okay. I don't generate fear off of reaction rolls either, so none of you are restrained. I am going to go ahead and spend 1 point of fear, however, and use that Echoes of Stillness once again, and I need everybody to make instinct reaction rolls.
I got a 2 with hope.
Oh, you got a critical success.
No, because I rolled a 2 and a 3, and I have disadvantage, and I got a 3 on my disadvantage.
Oh, I see. Normally when you say I got a 2, that's rolling two 1s. So that is a failure, but it is not a failure with fear, so you don't mark a point of corruption. Ava, how'd you do?
21 with hope.
Great. Beth?
12 with hope.
Great. Deb?
13 with hope.
You guys are not rolling fear very much. I'm getting very annoyed with that. Kay, how'd you do? I'm guessing really good.
I did well today. 15 with hope.
Wow. I think I'm going to have to start doing something that lets the chat give me donations now, because you guys obviously don't need it.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Even though you all, those of you that succeeded anyway, even though you rolled with hope and all of that, you don't get any points of corruption, but even though you succeeded, you do mark 1 stress. Andrew, you mark 2 stress because you failed.
Robin's about to freak out. Like, he's not doing hot.
Oh, he's freaking out.
Yeah, but right now he's unstoppable, so...
Someone who's freaking out and unstoppable. Okay, that's great.
Terrifying.
And I will pass the action back to you. Who would like to go?
How many are left and how close are they?
I mean, there's still basically 5 of them left. And if you are still within the hut, which you are, there are several of them that are at close range, and then there's a couple that are at far range.
Okay. We'll continue the blithing strike.
Okay.
Oh, that's a crit.
Amazing.
Yay.
Yes.
So you gain a hope. You can clear a stress. And what is your normal damage?
It is...
No. What is the normal damage? Not rolling. What is your normal damage? D6, right?
Yeah, D6 plus magic.
So D6 plus...
1.
Okay, so now it's a D6 plus 7 magic. Because of the crit.
Uh, 5 plus 7, that's 12? Yeah, 12.
Excellent. So yeah, describe for us what it looks like as you basically destroy one of these things.
I think we're not going to go to the one that is being restrained. We're going to go to one that is closer to Robin. In a way that is, oh no, the one that is always freaking out is about to make me freak out again. We have to make sure he doesn't freak out. So as soon as it leaves her hand, it does, it gets to that one and it yanks it back to take it off its feet, and then just starts to try to like drag it into the earth itself.
As it disappears down into the ground in front of Robin, Robin, you do like hear this thing scream in agony as it is pulled down into the ground, but the scream itself feels hollow and like reverberating as an unnatural emanation from this creature. Spotlight is still on you guys. I will remind you, you guys have a ton of hope at this point. Someone wanted to do a tag team. Now would be a really good time to do that.
I don't have a tag team idea, but I am going to use 3 of my hope for my life support feature and clear a hit point from Andrew, from Robin.
Oh, awesome. Okay. What does that look like as you do that?
I think Reishi is down kind of on one knee because they've been hit a couple of times. But they sort of reach out their left hand and send a little... There's a little mantra that they say as they're mushroom farming, and so they're speaking this mantra. It sort of comes to their lips unbidden. Through death comes life, and they send a little ray of healing toward Robin, and it's just sort of like it looks like a little poof of dust comes from their hand, and goes over and covers Robin.
So, Robin, you can remove one of your marked hit points, and that did not involve a roll, so you still have the spotlight, whoever would like to go. It doesn't have to be Reishi. It can be someone else. You as a team still have the spotlight. Who would like to go?
I want to try to get close to Reishi now, if that's is it like one movement, like one band?
Yeah, essentially. Okay. You are within close range to Reishi, and you can move up to them.
Well, I would have been at far range, I guess.
Oh, because you didn't leave the hut, right?
No.
Yeah. So if you want to still act, then you'll need to make an agility roll to still be able to act.
I think I'll try. I would like to try and help Reishi if I can, especially now that I've seen Reishi ignore their own pain. Let's see how this goes. I have a -1 to my agility, at least, though I'm not corrupted, so there's that. 5 on the good one, 1 on the fear, So that's 5. With
Okay.
hope.
All right. So you will gain a hope. I should double check. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a reaction roll or not. But regardless, I'm going to go ahead and stick with it for now because that's what we've already done. You do gain a hope, but it is a failure. So you basically stumble out of the hut and trip down the stairs and like face plant into the muck.
Sounds about right.
I gain a fear, which means that the spotlight passes back to me. So there are still a handful of these creatures. I am once again going, oh, do I have to make a reaction roll for the one that was restrained?
It does not say after I've restrained you, so...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have to do a reaction roll at the end of turns to avoid, or to get out of that.
It says temporarily restrained, I guess, so...
Yeah, yes, that means that I have to do the reaction roll. And so that is a 17. So they will no longer be restrained. So let's see here. There are 4 of them. Everyone except for Dig Deep. They swarm the lot of you, and there are attacks against all of you. And I also just realized, because this is a horde, technically speaking, it's just one roll. I'm not supposed to roll against all of you individually. And so that is a 13 against your evasions, your respective evasions. Does that miss anyone? Okay. That is 9 points of damage. Or 9 damage coming at you. So for Andrew, I think you said your threshold was 14, so that is light damage for you, which, since you're unstoppable, means that you don't take anything, if I recall correctly. But the rest of you, I'm not certain. So I can help walk you through that if you need to spend armor and such, but there's definitely some damage coming at you.
I think I take 1, because the first... I've not done...
Yep.
I apologize. Not done.
What's your threshold?
So it goes minor damage, then the number 10, major damage, 17, severe damage.
Okay, so that's 1 point of hit points coming at you. You can mark off an armor to make that 0 if you want.
I'll take it.
Okay.
I'm strong. I'm a strong turtle.
Alrighty.
How does is Robin like surrounded at all?
No. You guys are basically all fighting in pretty close proximity to each other, and they're all kind of mixed up with you, all in close range.
Got it. Okay, cool.
So how much damage did Wisp and Reishi take then?
I took 2 damage.
Okay.
Just 1.
So, Deb, I'm going to encourage you to maybe mark off an armor.
Yes,
to take one less.
Right. Yeah, I'm monitoring it. Don't worry. I'm going to use my Sparing Touch ability and clear 2 hit points from me, which I can do once per long rest.
Okay. That's when the spotlight passes back to you, though. So hold on to that. So you guys took some damage from that, and basically for anyone that actually took damage, and anyone that marked off a hit point, you have to make a strength reaction roll.
$15 with hope.
Great, you're fine.
If I marked an armor slot and did not take any,
then you don't have to roll.
Okay.
I got a 9 with hope.
That is a failure. So you are restrained as this creature's hands grip. Sorry.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is that considered an action roll?
It's a reaction.
Oh, reaction. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry, I can't help you. Okay.
That's all right.
Thank
So basically pulls face planted into the muck, and this creature came over and like dug their gnarled hand into their flesh and is now like pinned them on the ground. And if they were anything other than a galapa, they might be like feeling the dangers of drowning at this point. And since Kay was kind enough to give me a point of fear earlier, I'm going to spend that point of fear. I'm still down. I still have one left, but I will spend that point of fear and produce another Echo of Stillness. Everyone needs to make another instinct reaction roll.
Can I use hope to make my roll better?
So you can use hope to add an experience if you feel like an experience. You can draw strength from one of your experiences, maybe. This is battling against like the corruption of the world, so...
I took control corruption. Oh, but that was for a level up. We're not leveled up yet.
No, it applies.
Oh, it applies. Okay,
Yeah.
I took control corruption, and I did control some corrupted plants. So I'm
Yeah.
wondering if maybe it's a natural immunity or because my face is in some muck.
In this instance, I feel like this is part of your like awakening, and feeling that corruption rising within yourself. So I think it absolutely applies. So you can spend a hope, and you can add the +2 for your experience to that. How'd everybody do?
16 with hope.
That's
21 with hope.
That's you are not gaining hope from these though. Don't mark off more hope.
15 with hope.
20 with fear.
Okay, it's still a success.
I got it. I'm at 10 with hope, and then what? Sorry, I missed.
+2 from the experience.
Or +3 from my experience is a control. I put a bonus in there.
Oh, okay.
But what is it? I forget.
Instinct.
Is it instinct?
Instinct.
Oh, so it's 12.
That's a success. So all of you did succeed. You still mark off 1 stress for succeeding, however. And that passes the spotlight back to you.
Okay, let's see here.
Who would like to take an action?
Who's feeling the most? Excuse my language. I was going to say fucked up, but I don't know. We do have a mature tag. We're fine.
Yeah, we'd be
who's
fine
feeling rough?
anyway. Have you not? You've played on this channel long enough. Hey, come on.
Yeah.
Kay's
I
trying
don't
to
feel great.
Kay's trying to maintain that wholesome look. Don't fall for it.
I'm going to use 2 of my dream motes to turn them into a hope, and then I'm going to use my ability regeneration for 3 hope, and I'm going to touch Reishi, and I'm going to try and clear 1d4 hit points.
You are technically restrained. You cannot reach Reishi.
Oh, I can't move? I can't touch them?
That is correct.
Shit. Now, I struggle against my binds, please.
Do you want to take the spotlight and try to break free from your restraint?
I can wait. I can wait. Unless someone wants to tag team, I can still do dream motes.
How far away are you from
Within close
any
range.
of us? Oh yeah, I'll see that my turtle friend is trying to reach and do something, but is being held back by just this bullshit. So I'll run over and I guess use my sword to slash away some of the vines. Is that?
Well,
yeah?
no, this is literally a creature that has them pinned to the ground.
Oh well, fuck that guy. I'll attack.
Okay. Do you have enough hope to tag team this?
I have 3 hope.
So you could spend 3 hope and pick somebody to tag team with.
I'm gonna go with Reishi, since they were the target of this little, dealio.
begin with. All right, so both of you get to declare an attack. Whatever that attack is, you don't have to explain it right in this moment, but both of you have to figure out what that attack is so you know what to roll. And you both get to roll, and then you two, as a pair, since you are tag teaming, Beth, make sure you spend your 3 hope. You both get to pick whichever one of your rolls that you want to pick.
Okay.
And then whichever one of those 2 rolls that you pick, will determine whether or not you both succeed.
Okay. Okay, I would like to...
Whenever Beth gets like this, they're trying to contemplate shenanigans. So
Listen, I'm just trying to utilize my abilities as
Sure.
per the character sheet.
Uh-huh.
So I have, as a member of the Orderborn community, I have a series of dedications that I sort of live by. One of the dedications was No Heart Beats Alone. It has to do with solidarity, shared struggle, and mutual protection. So if I utilize one of those sayings in this moment, I can sort of describe how I'm embodying that principle, which I believe in this moment it feels apt. So I can roll a d20 as my hope die for this roll.
Of course you can.
Hey man, I didn't write the game. I'm just playing it.
Pick it up with Matt Mercer.
So with that, I think, I don't know, Reishi, if I were to do a big sword swing, how would we tag team this?
Don't worry about the hows yet. Figure out what you want to do for your part of the tag team and roll it.
Succeed first.
Yeah, succeed first.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Okay, so I don't tell you what my plan is. I just do it. Got it.
You just do it.
You bet. Okay.
So, Deb, did you already roll your thing? What'd you get?
15 with hope.
Okay.
I got... Hang on, I also have... No, there are so many abilities here, and I want to make sure I'm not fucking anything up.
It's a d20 plus a d12 plus whatever your attribute is for your attack.
I know.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just 19 with hope.
Okay. I'm assuming that you both would like to use the 19 with hope, which will succeed, which means you both will gain a hope. And so you can roll your damage from the thing. You each both do damage. And that gets added together for a total damage against this horde.
That would be 15 physical damage.
Okay.
And 14 magical damage.
Right. So with 29 damage, you are doubling, more than doubling their severe threshold, which will cut down the 4 remaining of these horde creatures. What does it look like as you all do this?
Please begin.
I think Reishi sees Wisp start to move, and as they did with Wisp's speech in the cabin, I think they get a little bit inspired and they push themselves up off their knee and back into a standing position, and then just start sort of hacking away, inspired by the intensity coming from Wisp.
I'm sorry, I was responding to Ava in the chat. Hit me with that one more time.
I was inspired by your Beautiful. Yes, courage.
bravery. Yes. Okay. I seeing your inspiration, I'm once again inspired by myself. No, I think calling upon this feeling from the like awakened vision of having like an understanding of like working as a group and combat technique and all of that. I think Wisp will sort of see us both working together to do this thing and just make like a tremendous swipe with the longsword and like fully knowing that this isn't just my attack. We're doing this here to help our friend.
So as the two of you kind of inspired by not only each other but to aid your friend and maybe getting a little bit caught up in the moment, your blades flash with physical and magical precision as you cut down the rest of these creatures. For the moment, you don't see any additional dangers around as these things are ended. But it is important to note that despite their corruption, despite what they looked like, they still bleed. They still... The bodies that have not been reclaimed just yet by the swamps are still, or were, still living. And so as you come out of this combat, breathing heavy, feeling the instinct from that fight, feeling some parts of your awakened selves kind of pushing you through to defend against that corruption, what do you do? And actually, I'm going to put the spotlight on you, Andrew, for Robin, as they are coming out of their unstoppable state in this moment, not seeing any additional foes to slay. What does Robin do?
I think the sword kind of just falls out of Robin's hands. He kind of feels the weight of it now. The adrenaline is kind of seeped out of his blood, and he may not look physically fucked up, but he's mentally fucked up and stressed as fuck. He's covered in sweat, and I think he's gonna look over at Pools and kind of just give them a thumbs up and say, "You're doing great, sweetie." And I'm gonna do a soldier's bond, is when I compliment somebody, we each gain 3 hope. And kind of just lean back on his sword to kind of process what happened.
Awesome. I pull my face out of the mud. Pools is gonna look at everyone, very, very grateful for Reishi and Careless Whisper for helping them out. And who's looking the most messed up right now? It was Reishi. Anyone else?
Reishi fully fell to the ground after the last burst of energy.
Okay. Anyone else?
I'm technically fine, except for stress.
I can also help with stress in a minute. Okay, I'm gonna touch Reishi and say, "Thank you very much, my friend." I guess now I can call you my friend. And I'm going to use regeneration, spend 3 hope. That is a 3. So you clear 3 hit points. And then I still think that this cottage might be the safest place for us. I can help us clear our minds when we've, cleaned up this battlefield.
Well, I'll point out to all of you that this place may feel safe to an extent, but it is not safe enough for you to take a long rest. You could take a short rest here, if you like, but a long rest is not really going to be able for you, if that is what you want to do. I will remind you that mechanically, I gain fear whenever you rest. That isn't to say that you can't stop and sleep, it's just you won't, gain the mechanical benefits of a short rest. Is that what you all would like to do? Or would you all like to move on?
I think Dig Deep's gonna come out of the cottage, hut, house, and meet up with everyone. If everyone feels comfortable on their feet, I think it is time to move more. The lightning, I fear, may still continue to come, and those that follow, like these lost ones, will continue to track. This will not be safe for much longer.
Okay. I'm happy to keep going.
Yeah. But could we take a second and talk about what the fuck just happened?
Can you not multitask? Walk and talk?
I can try my best.
That's all I ask.
Doing more than one thing at a time is a very foreign endeavor for many of you.
You know what that is, fair. I say it like it's so casual. No, we need to keep moving.
As Dig Deep is looking around and trying to ascertain the direction to go, she sees something in the mist. She sees a large pair of eyes peer from the mist. Glowing pool of black and amber. And as she focuses on those eyes, trying to discern whether they might be friend or foe, the fog slowly starts to recede, and appearing upon a branch, she sees the form of a massive owl. At this distance, it looks as big as she is. From 120 or so feet away, meaning that it is very likely significantly bigger. The owl sits upon its branch, simply gazing, locked eyes, with Dig Deep. Unmoving, no sound. How does Dig Deep respond?
So I have an ability called Nature's Tongue, and I can speak the language of the natural world. Essentially, I can speak to plants and animals around me. I would like to try to make this connection with the owl and see, are you trying to eat us?
You have to
Please don't eat us.
spend anything, any stress or fear, or stress or hope or anything in order to be able to use that ability?
Before you make a roll, I can spend a hope to gain a +2 to my instinct roll to make.
Okay, but otherwise you
So-
just have to succeed in an instinct roll.
Yes.
Okay.
And you know what? I'll spend the hope just in case.
Okay. I'll tell you now. Your difficulty is 20.
Oh boy. Cool. So math. 23 with fear.
Take the fear. You do succeed at this task, but that success does not give you what you think it gives you. That success tells you that this is not of the natural world. That success tells you that this creature is something else entirely. And for the briefest moment, fear grips Dig Deep's heart. Panic starts to rise in her chest as she cannot look away from this creature's gaze. The rest of you now can see Dig Deep frozen in this state and notice also the figure in the tree. And although you are not quite as affected, perhaps, as Dig Deep is in this moment, you recognize that this is something of portent, at the very least. And as Dig Deep is about to acknowledge that fear, or about to say or do something trying to push that fear out of their mind, the owl simply shifts its gaze westward. And once its gaze turns away, Dig Deep, that fear goes away. Everything, she exhales and everything relaxes for a moment. And she realizes that was not this thing putting anything upon Dig Deep. That was not this thing forcing itself upon her in any way. That was her own inner fear, her own inner trauma from a life lived in corruption, expecting that something such as this would want to cause her harm. Although she can't fully rationalize it, she can't fully explain it, maybe it's a part of her awakened memories, maybe it's just instinct telling her this, she knows that it does not want to cause her harm. And as the eyes of this very large owl look to the west, turns back and looks at all of you. You all see its amber-pooled, massive eyes taking you all in. Just simply nods, then fades away, disappearing from sight as if it had been made of mist.
I think we go west.
If ever there was a sign.
Yes, I guess I feel so blasphemous to say, Let's follow the unnatural giant-ass owl and go west.
Lead the way.
She'll start walking in that direction.
You start walking. Each step that you take gets just a tiny bit easier than the one before it. And I don't mean easier in the sense of, like, physically. Because, you know, some of you more than others, but you're all very tired. And in some ways you might be willing yourselves forward. But there also is kind of weight that maybe lifts off of you. Every step that you take, moving you further and further away from Dormer Hall, has this effect upon you. Every hour that ticks by, that you continue to walk, while you physically may feel more tired, somewhere inside of you, you feel less burden. Feel less tainted by the lives that each of you has known up to this point. I'm curious how you respond to that revelation. Is it a part of your own self realizing it? Or is it a part of your awakened selves pushing this idea upon you?
I don't think Wisp knows anymore. I think that there probably wouldn't have been another event, act, that would have merged her more with this awakened memory, vision, self, than a fight. And so I think that it's difficult to tell now.
I think Pools is very focused on how tired they are, in kind of a form of denial, where the awakened version, or the awakened memories are more focused on the like lack of, or like the motivation and everything, if that makes sense. You know, part of them is very much still in denial that the place that they were living, the way that they were living, was partially to blame for the malaise and slowness that they felt.
I don't think Dig Deep is thinking. There's a weird feeling right now. She was able to tap into this awakened side to her, to be able to hear the world around her. And she's used to the quiet, the silence of it all. But for the first time, there is like, she's becoming a lot more aware of the sounds of nature, the rustling of the leaves, the skittering of animals, and maybe it's whispering in her ear, but she can't quite make it out fully yet. But she hears creatures talking, but she can't quite understand what they're saying yet. And so she's paying attention to the path before her, but then also trying to grapple with these new voices and new memories and just new everything.
think for Robin, he's really trying to latch on to that memory that he had before, but it's almost like a dream where you try to remember more details and it gets fuzzier and fuzzier. So instead of the details, he's trying to remember the feelings that those memories had for him, the feelings of cunning, of courage, of camaraderie, and he is feeling excited for the first time. He's feeling alive for the first time, and he doesn't know if they're right or if they're wrong or if there's no morality to feelings, but he knows he's excited. He feels unstoppable, and I think he's trying his best to hide it, but he is allowing himself just a small smile, a small grin as he's following and kind of looking forward to the next exciting thing.
Reishi is really caught in a sort of endless web of what it means to be alive. For them, they've always been a collection of metal parts and electricity and whatever else makes constructs move and think. And these memories are so organic and they're so foreign and so almost antithetical to what Reishi has always known. They're so potent when the world has been for Reishi so still. And these memories are evoking strong feelings and thoughts and clarity, and Reishi, I think, is just confused by the paradox of what it means to be alive as a clank.
Along with that paradox comes a new experience for all of you. Fatigue. In a way that you have never felt before, unless you can resolve it with your awakened memories. This fatigue that comes from days of travel. You're also experiencing the passage of time differently, because previously all of your time has been tracked by the bells, towers within Dormer Hall that ring with these resonant notes at specific intervals to let you know when it is time to sleep, when it is time to awaken, when it is time to work. Day and night don't pass here in the realm of the Hollow Saint. The sky is a perpetual gray. So it is more that your fatigue is what tells you the passage of a day or not. Where eventually you have to just stop. You have to rest. You have to try to recuperate before you can go on. Around 10 days. Or 10 sleeps? Maybe 10 sleeps is a better way of considering it. 10 points at which the fatigue is so overpowering that you have to stop. You have to close your eyes. 10 of these before the terrain starts to feel a little bit less corrupt, before the swamp starts to finally give way into plains that you can see in the far distance, where the fog gives away just enough to see mountains. Is that mountains in the distance? How long will it take you to reach those? You aren't sure. Then there's the unfamiliar sound of flowing water. The unmistakable quality of a river. Fast and loud noise, even heard at a distance, that you might only know because of your awakened memory. Something pulls you in that direction. Curiosity, perhaps. The notion that maybe the river can give you a better sense of the direction that you're supposed to go. Or maybe you just want to see it. Maybe you want to see it with your own eyes as opposed to looking at it with a memory. Regardless of why you want to do this, you do all move in that direction. It's barely a change in your orientation. You walk just that little bit further to reach it. As you reach this river, you see it long and slightly meandering before you, continuing west. This flow of water, river itself is maybe only 30 or 40 feet wide. It flows with a movement that is almost freeing in a way. It wasn't for the black surface of it, the reflection of the darkened reflection of the sky, perhaps, that is a little bit unsettling. It would almost be fully relieving for you. As you stand there, contemplating, seeing this river before you, a fog swirls up at the center of it, twisting and writhing from seemingly nowhere, materializing from nothingness. A almost vortex of the fog, although not violent, not like a hurricane or tornado or anything like that, more just a breeze that collects in a spiral. As that fog twists and writhes up into the air, you see a shape start to emerge from that fog. Small at first, object jutting out the front of it. A boat. Flat, fairly wide. Front of a riverboat starts to emerge from the fog and slowly pushing out from that fog. You see this riverboat emerge. At first, there is nothing special about this riverboat. It is made of wood. It is a darkened wood, but it isn't like black. It isn't charred. It is normal. Your awakened minds tell you that there is nothing wrong with this vessel. And maybe even in some part of you, it almost feels like a relief, the idea that perhaps you could just take the boat and move along down the river at speed. And as the boat reaches almost full immersion from out of the fog and into your vision, you see that it is guided by a figure. Immensely tall, 15 feet or so in height. Shrouded in dark robes, hood drawn forward from which you cannot see anything underneath, and holding onto, with very, very large, pale hands, a immense black bronze staff buried deep into the river water, driving this boat forward. As this figure pushes their boat from out of this fog, it glides along the river and gently drifts into the direction of the riverbank. You note very clearly that it is moving not against the flow of water, it moves with the flow of water, but that river water is moving at a much faster pace than this boat ever should. For Dig Deep, and I think for Pools as well, you will also note very notably that for several inches around this boat, the water is not black. The water no longer reflects that gray sky from above. It is crystal clear blue. It is purity that resonates with particularly the two of you unlike anything else has up to this point. And as this riverboat glides to the edges of the riverbank, and the front of it gently brushes against the bank and the boat comes to a full stop, you note quite clearly that the flow of the river cannot cause it to tilt. It just sits and rests. And with one hand holding on to the bronze staff, gently leaning upon it, this hooded figure extends out their other hand towards you and gestures softly and gently. The wide arc to the front of the boat. And that's where we're going to end tonight, Lee. This invitation from a hooded figure. We shall see next time, perhaps, what all of this means and whether or not you even accept this ride from the boatman. We shall see.